Hello friends, now we are going to start with the last physiographic division of India, the Peninsular Plateau. And this is the part where normally students really struggle because this is the big part and there's a lot of divisions. So the solution for this particular thing is to make your own notes, and I'm going to help you in that. You have to keep writing with me. I'll be writing all the important points and we'll go systematically from east to west, then we'll come to the southern part, the southwestern part. So you need to write, you need to keep writing with me, like whatever things I'm writing down, and the same thing you have to note down. Point wise, you have to write. So we are going to start with the Peninsula Plateau. Peninsula Plateau. So our mnemonic for peninsula becomes pen. Peninsula becomes a pen. So pen becomes our image for Peninsula Plateau. The highest peak is Anaimuri in Nilgiris. Right? So how you will link it? The highest peak is Anaimuri, or from Anaimuri we get Anna Hazare. Muddi means Mudda, or the head. So the head of Anna Hazare, it's of pen shape, and Nilgiris becomes blue. So that is a blue color head of Anna Hazare in shape of a pen. Right? So if you have to see that image. Now everything cannot be covered with mnemonics. Same is true with the Peninsula Plateau. And we are not required actually to remember all the things. Some basic concepts we need to understand. So for the Peninsula Plateau, we are going to have five divisions. Five broad divisions of the Peninsula Plateau. So we are going to study each division now, and you have to keep writing with me. The first division we call as the Central Highlands. Central Highlands. So we are going to use the shortcuts, Central Highlands. Under Central Highlands, we are going to study the Aravallis. With Aravallis, Rajasthan uplands, Madhya Bharat Pathar, Madhya Bharat Pathar, Bundelkhand Plateau, Bundelkhand Plateau, Vindhyan Range, Malwa Plateau, and then finally the Narmada Valley. Narmada Valley. So these all things forms the part of Central Highlands, and we are going to discuss one by one each one of these. So starting with first the Aravallis and Rajasthan uplands. Okay, so this is the first part of Central Highlands. Now starting with Aravallis, the first point which we need to write about Aravallis, it is the oldest fold mountains. It's famous for marble and quartzite mining. Okay. Now, if we see the ascent of Aravallis, it is from northwest to southeast direction, in a form of discontinuous range, as discontinuous range from Delhi to Palanpur in Gujarat. Right. So these are the important points for Aravali's which we have to remember. The highest peak of Aravali is the highest peak is Guru Shikhar, which is of height 1722 meters. Mount Abu is a famous hill station. Mount Abu, famous hill station. Now there is an important pass which we have to remember, which is the Gorang Pass. That separates the Gulshikar from Mount Abu, and it connects the cities of Udaipur with Sihuri. Okay, Gorang Pass that separates Guru Shikhar with Mount Abu, with Mount Abu, and connects Udaipur to Sihori and Jalore. Okay. Now, certain important rivers which actually originates from Aravali's. One such river, Luni, we have already seen. Another river is Banas and Sabarmati. Sabarmati. Okay. So now these are the points for Aravali's which we have to note down. Now second comes the Rajasthan uplands. Rajasthan uplands. Now first we have to write it is east of Aravali's. East of Aravali. So in the map, if you know the location of Aravali and then the Vindhyan range, then the Satpura range, so that is how we will see everything. So Rajasthan uplands, it is east of Aravali's. It is famous for the sandstones, shale and limestone. Limestone. Drained by river Banas. Drained by Banas river. Now, when you are making these notes, you write the mnemonics also in bracket. For Eravali, we get Eravat. Eravat is a very famous elephant, a mythological elephant who used to serve Lord Indra. Okay, Eravat Hathi. So Eravat elephant becomes our image for Aravali. First thing you can remember is the highest peak, that is Guru Shikhar. Guru Shikhar is a easy picture. Guru is our teacher and Shikhar is the head of the Guru. So on the head of the Guru it is the Eravat Hathi. Then the rivers Luni, we already have an image of a Luna. Banas becomes Bansi and Sabarmati becomes Sabarmati Ashram of Gandhiji. Sabarmati Ashram. Similarly, for the Rajasthan uplands, Rajasthan our picture is camel. So camel uplands becomes the top portion of camel, and it is drained by Banas river, or Banas becomes Bansi. So that is how systematically you have to prepare the notes, particularly for this Peninsula Plateau, because it's a difficult part and it's a big part. Now we come to the second division. We have completed the Aravalis and Rajasthan uplands. The Aravalis and Rajasthan uplands. Now we come to the third part, which is the Madhya Bharat Pathar. So B, we are starting with Madhya Bharat Pathar. Madhya Bharat Pathar. So the point which you have to remember for Madhya Bharat Pathar, it is the east of Rajasthan uplands And it is the place where Chambal, which is a tributary of Yamuna, cut deep and wide valley formations and wide valleys, forming ravines, or we also call as the Badlands. Okay, so we finished the Madhya Bharat Pata. This thing what you have to remember about Madhya Bharat Pata. Then we now come to Bundelkhand Plateau. So C is Bundelkhand Plateau. First thing what we need to write about the Bundelkhand Plateau is it contains the border districts of UP and MP. And second thing is it is an old erosional surface made up of granite and gneisses. So old erosional surface made up of granite and gneiss. Okay, now coming to the Malwa Plateau. Now, first thing we need to draw something like if this is the Aravali's, this is the Vindhyan. So this is Aravali's, this is Vindhyan, and in the east we have Bundelkhand Plateau. Bundelkhand in the east. So this portion we call as the Malwa Plateau. The Malwa Plateau. So the first thing what we will write about Malwa Plateau is it is the north of Vindhyan Range. North of Vindhyan Range. Another interesting thing about Malwa Plateau is it has two systems of drainage. Two systems of drainage. The first one is the rivers which are flowing towards the Arabian Sea, which are the Narmada, Tapi, and Mahi, which goes to Arabian Sea. Which goes to Arabian Sea. And then second system is obviously now the rivers which are flowing towards the Bay of Bengal. So Chambal and Betwa, which actually joins Yamuna, which goes to Bay of Bengal. So these are the two systems of drainage for Malwa Plateau. This is a place also infamously known for the Chambal ravines. Chambal ravines or Chambal ki Ghati, the famous Chambal ki Ghati. Chambal ki Ghati. Okay. Now, how you will remember the Chambal ravines or Chambal ki Ghatu with Malwa? Malwa you can have either two images. One is the Malwa Express, is a train, and second is Malwa becomes Halwa. Halwa. So Chambal ki Ghati. In Chambal ki Ghati, what we have? We have dacoits, daku, and they eat halwa. So when you are writing these notes, make a bracket and write the mnemonic part as well. Mnemonic. Okay, so this way you will have both concepts and the mnemonics at the same place. So what we have completed till now, we have completed the Bundelkhand plateau, we have completed the Malwa plateau. Now we'll come to Vindhyan range. So E, the fifth part, it is the Vindhyan range. This part requires a bit patience because it's a big part and it's easy if we can go point by point. Just giving a lecture PPTs and all will not serve the purpose for this particular part. So Vindhyan range. The first thing, it is old fold mountain range, and we know the difference between the old and fold mountains. It is a continuous range, and becomes water divide between the north and south India. Water divide. It forms the Rift Valley, the northern side of Rift Valley, for Narmada. So now obviously if it's a Rift Valley, so the southern side of this range will have a very steep slope. It's a source of Chambal, Sindh and Betwa. Okay. Vindhyan range, our image will become Vidya Balan, the famous actress. Vidya Balan becomes our image for Vindhyan range. Now it is a continuous range. If you see the body of Vidya Balan, she is beautiful and her body is continuous. So you can see an image where you are checking the whole body of Vidya Balan and you're seeing it's very continuous. It's a water divide between North and South India. Water divide, she is so beautiful that people used to fight for her. Okay, so there is a divide between northern and the southern India people. It forms the northern side or Rift Valley for the Narmada. This anyway we know. It's a source of Chambal, Sindh and Betwa. Chambal we have dacoits as a picture. Sindh we have Sindhi people who are very good as a businessman, and Betwa we had Bat. Okay, so these three images again you can link with the Vidya Balan. So people become dacoits, they become dacoits to get Vidya Balan. Okay, Sindhi people, they also like Vidya Balan, and Bat, she used to play cricket with cricket bat. So that is how make a bracket and write your own mnemonics with these images about Vindhyan range. Now we comes to the final part of the central highlands, which is the Narmada Valley. Narmada Valley. We all know it flows in a rift valley between the Vindhyan and the Satpura range. Between Vindhyan and Satpura range. There is no need for mnemonic for this because we all know it flows in a rift valley between the Vindhyan and the Satpura range. You can draw a diagram as Vindhyan range and the Satpura range. Satpura range is a discontinuous range. Satpura and Vindhyan. And here flows the Narmada, becomes the Narmada Valley. This is a discontinuous range, the Satpura, and Vindhyan becomes the continuous range. Here we complete the first division, the 5 divisions what we initially told for the physiographic division. The first we have finished the central highlands. So this central highlands we have finished by completing the Aravalis, Rajasthan uplands, Madhya Bharat Patha, Bundelkhand plateau, the Vindhyan range, the Malwa plateau and the Narmada valley. So this finished our the first part of among the 5 divisions. Now we come to the second division, which is the eastern plateau, the northeastern plateau. Second divisions, the main divisions, the northeastern plateau. Northeastern plateau. In this we have to study Chota Nagpur plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau, Mahanadi Basin, Mahanadi Basin, Meghalaya Plateau. If you remember last time when we were studying the Purvanchal, we said Meghalaya Plateau is not the part of Purvanchal. Meghalaya Plateau and Dandakanya. Dandakanya. So these forms a part of Northeastern Plateau, which is the second division of the physiographic division of India. Again, same way we will start. First, we will take Chota Nagpur Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau. Right. So if you remember, for the Central Highlands, if we see the divide, we are talking about the between the areas of Aravali range and the north of Satpura. Okay, so north of Satpura we finish at the Narmada Valley. Before Narmada Valley it is Vindhyan range, and with north of Vindhyan range it is the Malwa Plateau. On the east side of which is the Bundelkhand Plateau and the Aravali range, Aravali, and then comes the Rajasthan uplands and also the Madhya Bharat Patha. Okay, so that is how you have to make a sequence in your mind. No need to put a mnemonic in that. So Chota Nagpur Plateau. Let us see first which all parts it spreads through. Chota Nagpur Plateau. It spreads over the parts of West Bengal, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. It spreads over the parts of West Bengal, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. It is, we know that, known as the mineral belt of India. Mineral belt of India. Known for the coal and iron ore deposit. Coal and iron ore deposits. And why this is because we saw during when we were studying the geological history of India that because of the rifting of the Damodar and the Mahanadi basin, the forest cover which was there, it went under down, and then over the years, millions of years, we are getting coal and iron from that. There are certain rivers which flows through Chota Nagpur Plateau. The first one is the Damodar River, Subarnekha, Barakat, North Koyal River and South Koyal River. Now North Koyal, it is a tributary of Son. Which is the tributary of Ganga. We saw that the Son Papdi, the whole Gangaram hospital we saw in the mnemonics. And the South Koyal River, it is a tributary of Brahmani. Okay. Now this Damodar river, it flows through the center of this Chota Nagpur Plateau and divides into two parts. So Damodar river, flows through the center of the plateau and divides it into two parts. Into two parts. The north part, it is known as the Hazaribagh Plateau. Which the highest hill The highest hill is Parasnath. Parasnath. The southern part is the Ranchi Plateau, over which we have city of Ranchi. City of Ranchi. And the highest point is Netarhat Part. Now, part, the meaning of part is high level laterite plateau. Laterite plateau. Okay. So this thing is clear about Chota Nagpur Plateau. One more physiographic thing which you have to remember for the Chota Nagpur Plateau, it is the northeastern side of it. We have northeastern side. We have Raj Mahal Hills. We have Raj Mahal Hills. Raj Mahal Hills. And the southern side, it has the Garjat Hills. Southern side, we have Garjat Hills. So these are the points which you have to remember for the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now Chota Nagpur becomes Chota Nag, okay, a small snake. So with a small snake, we have to remember the mineral belt of India. This anyway know. These rivers we need not remember or link with the Chota Nagpur Plateau, like which all flows. North Koel or South Koel we can remember as a tributary of Son and tributary of Brahmani. Koel becomes Koel bird. So North Koel becomes nose of Koel. N for north and N for nose. Okay, north of Koel river. So, and South Koel, S for south and S for samosa. And Brahmani becomes a Brahmin lady. Okay, the Pujarin we call. So these two things again, no need to put a mnemonic for this. The north part, Hazaribagh Plateau, the highest hill is Parasnath. Parasnath, Pashavnath, if you remember the Jain, we linked the image of the Paras dwellers. Then Ranchi Plateau. Again, there is no point of putting in mnemonic for the Netrahat Pat. Northeastern side we have Raj Mahal and southern side we have Garjat Hills. Raj Mahal, clear image we have of a big palace or Raj Mahal. Or Garjat means Garajna, okay, Garajna. Bijli garaj rahi hai, okay, lightning. Garajna. Okay, so these all things we need to remember for the Chota Nagpur Plateau. If you remember, we are doing the northeastern plateau. First, we did the central highlands. In that, we saw the different divisions. Now, we are doing the second physiographic division of the Peninsular Plateau, which is the northeastern plateau, in which the first part was the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now, we come to the second part of the northeastern plateau, and which is the Meghalaya Plateau. Meghalaya Plateau. In this first point we need to note down is the western part is known as the Garo Hills. Western part is known as Garo Hills, while the central part is known as Khasi Jaintia Hills. Jainta Hills. In the north, this Meghalaya Plateau is bounded by two ranges, the Mikhir and the Ringma Hills. Bounded in the north by Mikir and Rengma Hills, which actually separates Purvanchal, which was a part of Himalayan system, Purvanchal and Meghalaya Plateau. Okay, so again you can, whenever you can draw a diagram, you draw a diagram. So Garo, Khasi, Jayanta, then you have Mikir and Negma Hills, and then you have Purvanchal Hills. So Purvanchal, Meghalaya Plateau, and these are Mikir and Regma Hills. Mikir and Regma Hills. The highest elevation point is Shillong. Highest elevation point is Shillong, which is approximately 1961 meters. One more point, Norkek in Garo Hills. You remember with Nokrek, we remembered one national park, Nokrek National Park in Meghalaya. Okay, Nokrek in the skies. Again, now we can link it with the Garo Hills. Let's go to the next point. There is one important Malda gap. Now, as we have told, we have studied that it is the extension of the Peninsula Plateau, but there is a gap, if you can see, from the Rajmahal Hills to the Garo Hills, and this is known as the Malda Gap, and it is a down-faulted part which has actually gone inside the thick deposits of Ganga and Brahmaputra. Okay, so Malda Gap between the Rajmahal Hills and Garo Hills. Bracket में you can write the down faulted part under thick deposits of Ganga and Brahmaputra. Right. Place of heavy rainfall. We all know that. Place of heavy rainfall. Because of the topography of the mountains. So though mountains are not very high, but still it's in such a shape that it produces a funneling effect and it gives heavy rainfall. The heaviest rainfall place we all know, Mausinan, around 16 kilometers from Cherrapunji. From Cherrapunji. Now put a bracket and write the mnemonics for these things. Meghalaya Plateau. Meghalaya, we already have an image, Megh, which are clouds. First, Garo. Ga is singing and Ro is to cry. Sing and cry. Are you singing or are you crying? Somebody is singing so badly that you are asking him that are you singing or crying? Then you have Khasi Hills. Khasi becomes Khasi. Khasi is to sneeze, right? To sneeze. Then you have Jaintia Hills. Jaintia Hills become Jain Munis. Jaintia becomes Jain Munis. The highest point is Shillong. Shillong becomes She is so long. Shillong becomes She is so long. That is why the highest elevation point. Okay. Mikir, me becomes my, and Kir becomes Kirti. My Kirti. Rengma becomes Nagma, the name of the heroine. Okay, so this is how you link now with Meghalaya Plateau. North becomes north of Meghalaya Plateau. These two ranges are there, these two hills. So north becomes N for nose. right? So that is how you write in bracket the important mnemonics. Now we come to the third division of the northeastern plateau, which is the Mahanadi Basin. The another name of Mahanadi Basin, it is the Chhattisgarh Plains. Chhattisgarh Plains. It is the roughly, if we see the position, it is between the Makal Range and Odisha Hills. Between Makal Hills and Odisha Hills. Now you have to do one thing. First, you have to make a rough diagram of your own. Don't go to the Indian map. Just try to plot these things in a rough map which you prepare on your own. Then you shift it to the main Indian map and take the help of Atlas as well. Now here, as the name suggests, Mahanadi Basin, Mahanadi and its tributaries drain this region. Mahanadi and its tributaries like Sionath, Hasdev and Man, etc. drains this region. Drains this region. Another important thing which we have to remember for the Mahanadi Basin is the Korba field of Chhattisgarh. Korba coal fields of Chhattisgarh. Another thing we have to remember one hill name, Rajhara Hills, which contains hematite iron, which is supplied to Bhilai steel plant. Which is supplied to Bhilai steel plant. Bhilai steel plant. Right. So these are the things which you have to remember for the Mahanadi Basin. Now we come to the fourth and the final division of northeastern plateau. It is the Dandakanya. First thing we have to write is south of Mahanadi Basin. So south of Mahanadi Basin. One very important river here is Indravati river, flows from the middle of this region. Flows from the middle of this region. And they form at a place known as Jagdalpur Chitrakoot Falls. Chitrakoot Falls. Another one hill name, it is Abu Majar Hills, which have rich iron ore deposits. Iron ore deposits in Bailadia range. Now bracket me, you can write some mnemonics if you want. Danda Kanya becomes Danda. Indravati becomes Indra, and Vati is the wife of Indra. So wife of Lord Indra, Lord Indra flows as a river. Okay, Chitrakoot Falls, and Abu Majar Hills. Abu becomes Abu Salem. Abu Salem. Okay, is rich in iron ores. So that is how you can make a bracket and you can write your mnemonics here. Now we have completed the two main physiographic divisions of India, of the Peninsular Plateau of India. The first one, the Central Highlands, and second was the Northeastern Plateau. Now we come to the third physiographic division, which is the Deccan Plateau. Third, we have Deccan Plateau. In this, we have to study about the Satpura range, the Maharashtra Plateau, Telangana Plateau, and the Karnataka Plateau. So let's again first start with the Satpura range. Satpura range. It is, if we see the location roughly, it is between the valley of Narmada. We have seen the rift valley between the Vindhyan and the Satpura range. The valley of Narmada is in north. And valley of Tapi in south. Valley of river Tapi in south. It starts from Rajpipla Hills, passes through Mahadev Hills, to Maikal range. Now just go to map and see all these positions, the Rajpipla Hills, then through Mahadev Hills to Maikal range. Now Dhupgarh is the highest peak of Satpura. Is the highest peak of Satpura, which is near Panchmadi. Panchmadi is a sort of hill station in MP. Panchmadi. Amarkantak is the second highest peak. Amarkantak is the second highest peak. And if you remember the mnemonics, what we did for the Narmada was the transcenders. Okay, so the origin was the Amarkantak, second highest peak, which is the source of Narmada river and the Son river. This flows eastwards and this flows northwards. We have the origin of Tapti river from eastward from Mahadev Hills. Okay, so these all things we need to remember for Satpura range. Now in bracket you can write the mnemonics. Satpura becomes Sat Pura or 7 hills. Seven hills. So there are seven hills. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. These are seven hills. Okay. So from starting, this is the journey of Lord Shiva. So in starting, it was a people tree. People tree, which is Raj Pipala. Raj Pipala. Then in between, he became Mahadev in Samadhi. He made he meet the state of Mahadev. Okay, and finally at the end he becomes Maikal becomes Mahakal. Mahakal, everything he finishes. So once he reaches this and the end of seventh hill, he becomes a Mahakal, which is Maikal, and finishes everything. Finishes everything. Okay. Now your home is somewhere here around. Okay. And because of these seven hills, you don't get any dhoop. Dhoop is sunlight. So highest peak is Dhoopgarh. Sunlight. Dhoopgarh. Right. Amarkantak we have already linked with the origin of Narmada. So origin of Son also. Son was Son Papdi. Son Papdi is also made up of Kante. Kantak is Kate, thrones. Made up of thrones. So just don't write these mnemonics, practice them, okay? See the visuals and revise them whenever it's possible. Tapti from Mahadev hills. Mahadev is, we know, the Shankar Bhagavan in meditation, and Tapti is Tapti Tapti Gami, that is the Dharmikul, if you remember the mnemonics, Dharmikul, right? So Mahadev using Dharmikul during summers. So that is about the Satpura range. Then we come to the second part of it, which is the Maharashtra plateau. Maharashtra plateau, which we divides into two parts. The western part and the eastern part. Now the Western Ghats, we all know it is made up of Western Ghats. And hills like which are the offshoots of Ajanta, Satmala and Harishchandra. Eastern side, it is the leeward side. Okay, not the windward side, it is the leeward side. And this is a arid plateau with very less rainfall. The famous name Vidarbha region. So this is the Vidarbha region. Vidarbha region, where the farmer suicides are most. Now the another division of this what we did was the Telangana plateau. In Telangana plateau, we have two divisions again. North of Krishna River, it is the plateau of Telangana. Plateau of Telangana. While south of Krishna River, it is plateau of Rayalaseema. Then finally, The D, the fourth part, we have Karnataka Dharwad region. Karnataka Dharwad region. It is a mineral rich region, the Dharwad region we have seen, particularly Dharwad, the mineral rich region situated to the north, to the south, to the south of Deccan lava region. There are two important physiographic regions of Karnataka plain. Two important physiographic regions. One is Malnad and second is Maidan. Malnad, it is the hilly and the diastatic plateau varying about the 30 kilometers in width, which is lying closer to the Western Ghats. So what you can write as hilly plateau region lying close to Western Ghats. Western Ghats. The highest hill is Babu Budan group. Highest hill Babu Budan group. Then Maidan, it is now the eastern of Malnad, which are relatively large rolling plains with low granitic hills. It is eastern side of Malnad, that is the hilly region, which are large rolling plains. Okay. So here we finish the third division of the Peninsular Plateau. Now we come to the fourth, which is the Western Ghats. Now if we see the location of the Western Ghat, it ascends from Tapi Valley to the north of Kanyakumari. Another name from Western Ghats is Sahyadris. Sahyadris. It has steep slopes or sharp slopes on the western sides. Sharp slopes on western side and gentle or gradual slopes on eastern side. Some important gaps we have to remember for Western Ghats. Some important gaps. First gap is the Talghat gap. Talghat gap, which is between Mumbai to Nasik. Second, we have Bhodghat gap, which is from Mumbai to Pune. Then we have Palghat gap, which is from Palakkad to Coimbatore. Make a bracket here and write the southwest monsoon. It enters into interior through these passes. Southwest monsoon winds enters interior part through these passes. Through these passes. We all know it's a eco-sensitive zone, a highly biodiverse region. Here we have around 2 biosphere reserves and 13 national parks. 13 national parks. Right. So these things we have to remember for Western Ghats. Some of the hills here: Ajanta, Satmala, what we have seen, and Harishchandra. Now we come to the fifth division of Peninsular Plateau, that is the Eastern Ghats. The first point which we need to write about Eastern Ghats, it is a chain of highly broken hills. Right. It starts somewhere from Mahanadi in Odisha. Starts from Mahanadi in Odisha to Vaigai in Tamil Nadu. We divide it into two parts, the northern part and the southern part. The southern part. Let's go to the next page and write it down. We are dividing it into two parts, the northern part and the southern part. The dividing line is somewhere between the Godavari Valley. So the northern part, we say it is between the Mahanadi and Godavari. Mahanadi and Godavari. Here it exhibits its true mountain character. It is in the form of mountain ranges here. True mountain character. There are two important ranges which we have to remember here. The first one is the Malia range, and second one is Madugula Konda. Madugula Konda range. Malia range and the Madugula Konda range. Malia range, the highest peak is Mahendragiri. And Madugula Konda, it is Arma Konda. Right. Now coming to the southern, we say it is between the Godavari and Krishna river. Godavari and Krishna river. Now here they almost disappear. As in mountain range at some places. Now the important range here, what we can remember, is Nalla Malai range in AP, Annamalai range in Andhra Pradesh, the south of which is known as the Palakonda range. South side we have Palakonda range. To the south we have some more hills which are Javadi hills and Shevroy Kalrayan hills. Important thing to remember here is the bauxite deposits. On Niyamgiri, bracket, you write Niyamgiri, the POSCO plant. Alright. Now, if you further go south, the southern hills, one very important point which you have to remember, Nilgiris is a point where Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats meets. And it is the nodal point where three different ranges are going. Nodal point for three different ranges. The first one is the Annamalai, which is going to the north, We have Palani, which is going to the northeast, and the Cardamom Hills, Cardamom Hills to the south. In which the Annamalai Hills are the highest, approximately 1800 to 2000 meters. Right, so Nilgiris become an important thing to remember. So here we finish the Peninsula Plateau part. If you find certain more mnemonics has to be made, do inform us. We are going to make it. As a part of the miscellaneous mnemonics. Then, hopefully, the lecture was useful for you people. It was important actually to take some time to learn point by point and note down these things, because same way you can have the preparation also for your examination. Otherwise, it's a difficult portion. Okay, because things are very much vast. So thanks for tuning in.